Wolterstorff writes, "How is faith to endure, O God, when you allow all this scraping and tearing on us? You have allowed rivers of blood to flow, mountains of suffering to pile up, sobs to become humanity's song, all without lifting a finger that we could see. You have allowed bonds of love beyond number to be painfully snapped. If you have not abandoned us, explain yourself." We strain to hear, but instead of hearing an answer, we catch sight of God himself, scraped and torn. Through our tears, we see the tears of God. It's common for the modern person to approach God with this accusation, demanding an answer as to why we suffer. Maybe you're feeling that way yourself during this time of pandemic and suffering. Why would a God who is supposedly all good and powerful allow us to suffer? Usually this accusation is personal. It's not a response to suffering in general, hypothetical, but it's a response to something that's deeply personal and specific, as it was for Dr. Wolterstorff in the loss of his son. Well, what God, by his word and spirit, shows us in times of suffering is not primarily a foolproof answer as to why we suffer. Sometimes we discover why our suffering was necessary in this life. But of the reason for most of our suffering in this life, we have to conclude we don't know. But just because we don't know the reason doesn't mean that there isn't one. Of all the knowledge of God's universe, we humans possess only a tiny fraction of the whole. We don't even know what we don't know. And so how can we conclude that just because we don't know the reason that a loving and powerful God allows, even ordains suffering, that there can't be one? But what God does show us in times of suffering by his word and spirit is not a foolproof answer, but he shows us himself. As Wolterstorff says, we see God scraped and torn. God, in the person of Jesus Christ, entered into the suffering of human existence. He endured it, suffering with us, suffering for us. And so we can't say why there is suffering, but we can say that it's not because God is indifferent. We can say that it's not because his affection for us is lacking in any way. He who spared his own son, will he not graciously with him give us all things? Romans 8. And we know it was because we know that it's not because God was out of control. That it's not because he was powerless to stop suffering. Because Jesus not only endured, but defeated death and suffering, and will one day wipe it out completely. In the resurrection, we see how much God is in control, that he is powerful even over death and suffering, that he's defeated it. The God who suffers with us is also the God who, because of his resurrection, is able to lift us out of our suffering fully and finally.